Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kelly HERCL. You might know me as being a Spanish teacher in the B Hall, but what you may not know about me is I've also been a bartender and a waitress for several years. When I was 15 years old, I started working in a Chinese restaurant in my old neighborhood, and then I went away to college and I worked in some restaurants there, and then for the past 17 years I've worked at Chicago Street Pub in downtown Joliet. Like I said, I've been bartending and waitressing here. What I like most about it is the money. It's a fun job, but I do make a lot of extra money. I usually work 1 or 2 days a week, but that adds up to between $15,000 and $20,000 extra in cash every year. And I use that money to go on vacation, go to concerts, and do other fun stuff. The thing that I like best about this, in addition to the cash, are just the people that I meet. A lot of our regulars are really good people. They take good care of us. We take good care of them. We do have live music here, and so I've got to know the Joliet music scene very well and lots of local musicians, which is also fun about this job. When it comes to my schooling, though, some of the stuff that's helped me get to where I am today and be good at this job are my English classes, my speech class that I took in high school, and also my Spanish classes. My English class has just kind of prepared me for, speaking properly, using proper language, manners, things like that. Speech class has helped me be more comfortable talking in public with complete strangers. And then my Spanish class, obviously, as you can probably guess, has helped me work with my Spanish-speaking customers. So being in downtown Joliet, sometimes there are some customers that come in and know little to no English. And so because I am bilingual, I can help them. So that's it in a nutshell. Like I said, it's good money, good people. It's like another family here. And it's something that I could suggest you doing a career in the restaurant business, or maybe just a side hustle like it is for me. Adios.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Kicks, and my first career before teaching was in the business world, specifically advertising and marketing. I worked as a media buyer, account executive, and marketing manager in advertising agencies and at a national car and truck rental company. Advertising agency duties include working with client companies to generate interest in their products and services. I analyzed the best ways to reach target audiences, created media plans, and bought advertising print ads and commercials for my clients in local and national newspapers, magazines, billboards, and radio and television programming. As an account executive, I coordinated advertising campaigns for clients with my agency creative team of writers and graphic designers, presented new ideas, wrote copy for printed promotional items, as well as copy edited and proofed ads and brochures for accuracy. As a marketing manager, I worked with field offices and advertising agencies to promote my company's rebranding efforts as they merged with another business. I got interested in advertising when I was on the yearbook staff in high school and had to sell space to local businesses. In college, I worked at the advertising department of the school newspaper, did some job shadowing, and had a business internship. And all of these experiences sparked my interest and helped me to decide to major in advertising in college. A minimum of a bachelor's degree in marketing or advertising is the first step to work in this field. I pursued a master's degree in advertising, which helped me get my first job at an agency and made me qualified to teach Advertising 101 courses at local community colleges as adjunct faculty. Starting salaries for media buyers and assistant account executives and marketing department associates are around $50,000 depending on the size of the agency. Experienced advertising and marketing managers can earn well over $100,000, again, depending on the size of the company. Growth in this career field is a bit above average, especially in the areas of digital and online advertising and data analytics. The things that I liked most about my first career were working with a variety of people in a creative and dynamic environment while helping to create awareness and increase sales for businesses. Seeing my ad campaigns and media plans come to life in print or outdoor advertising and in TV commercials were definite highlights of my career. In high school, my English, speech communications, math, business, economics, and technology classes were the most important to my career and where I learned to speak, present, write, and edit effectively, to understand statistics and data analysis, use spreadsheets, and understand how companies operate. A career in advertising or marketing is a great fit for someone with strong analytical decision making, communication, presentation, and people skills. Professionals in this field are persuasive, strategic thinkers with creative ideas to share, good organization and time management skills, who are interested in helping companies to be successful in the promotion and sales of their products and services.
Hi guys, I'm Mrs. KRAUSE, and most of you know me as an English teacher, but what you guys don't know is that prior to being an English teacher, I had my cosmetology license. Actually, I still have my license today, I just don't practice anymore. So when I was in this career field, I actually started doing it in high school, and then I finished about a year after. I started because as a freshman in high school, I would see the upperclassmen come into the cafeteria after what was the equivalent to Wilco for you guys, and they would have their hair all done up. And I was like, that's how I want to spend my morning. So I actually started doing it when I was a senior in high school, and then I finished, again, it took me an additional year outside of high school to finish up and get my license. So cosmetology is a field that covers a lot of areas in the beauty industry. You can go to school just to be an esthetician, so that's working with skin alone. You could go to be a nail tech, so that's nails only. But when you're in cosmetology, you do all of those things. And you also learn things like facials and just a bunch of different things that I thought were really interesting. I actually used it to work in a salon for a little while, but for most of the time that I used my license, I worked for a surgeon who did anything like neck and up. And so I worked on, Botox injections for people. We did surgeries like nose jobs, facelifts, things like that. So I used my license in kind of a unique way. My duties, depending on what job I was in working in a salon, obviously I would do cutting, coloring hair for people. I never did anything with nails. I'm really grossed out by feet, so I never did pedicures, manicures, anything like that. I did do some waxing, which is interesting and kind of fun. Not a whole lot in the skin treatment department, but then I did do a lot with skin when I worked for the plastic surgeon. So just kind of assisting with handing him tools, talking to people about bone structure and what's going to look best on them and things like that. Training for this, cosmetology school, again, took me a couple of years, and it was both stuff that you do in a classroom, so you're working with textbooks and things like that, and then it's practical on the job training. There was a salon that was attached to my cosmetology school, and we would offer services for discounted prices for people that would come in just to give us that experience. We would also kind of like do each other's hair, so work on each other. Salary range for this career field is huge just because it depends on a lot of factors. Where you live is a factor. You're going to make a lot less money if you live in a small town or work in a small town versus in a big city, depending on, again, who your clientele is. So there are people who do hair and makeup for celebrities and they are making, $200,000 a year plus. There are people who work in more of a small town demographic that make as little as $12,000 a year. So again, it depends on so many factors. The average salary range for this is about $20,000 to $40,000 a year, just for your general, person who goes into working for a salon. So there were a lot of things I enjoyed about the job. I wasn't really very good at it, so that's kind of why I don't do it anymore. I feel like you either have a knack for it or you don't. There were a lot of things I enjoyed about it though, like talking to people. A lot of my clients were regulars, and so I would get to see them every week or at least once a month to do their hair color. And when I started working in surgeries, I just have always thought that plastic surgery, all of that stuff is just really interesting to me. So getting to see the medical side of it was really cool. I've always loved the people that I work with. So it's always been a field where I've made a lot of strong friendships, people that, friendships that have lasted through the years. Some things that are like connections to high school. There were some things that really surprised me when I was in cosmetology school, and then of course that branched into my career in cosmetology. I had to use science a lot and math, and I was a terrible math and science student. And terrible because, well, I wasn't good at it, but also because I was always like, I'm never going to need this. I'm never going to use this. But then I did. It's very sciencey when you talk about mixing chemicals. If you do the wrong thing, you can literally burn somebody's hair off or give them, skin issues. things that you can get sued for. So all of that sort of factored into what I did there. And I have a lot of favorite memories. I know we're supposed to list a specific favorite memory, but oh gosh, it's really hard for me. I think probably my favorite memory would be doing updos for prom, like when people would come in before prom, homecoming, because I would love to hear them talk about their plans for homecoming and prom and see pictures of dresses and just all things like that. So that was my previous career. Thanks for listening.
Hey Wildcats, I'm Rose Fleming. I'm an English teacher at PHS English Department, where I've been for about 18 years now. But back in the late 80s and early 90s, I know, you weren't even born yet, I was actually working at a bank. I was working at this bank, St. Paul Federal Bank for Savings. I was started when I was an 18-year-old teller, somewhere around there, and kind of eventually moved my way up so that by the mid to late 90s, I was a bank sales officer. What did I do? Well, a lot of really interesting things. I managed and produced a lot of reports and reporting on sales incentives, what our branch people were doing in terms of their productivity in helping customers and selling them some of the bank's best products. I enjoyed my job tremendously. I really did. I enjoyed the benefits. Well, let me tell you, banking pays pretty well. I made a lot of money. I had a lot of benefits. I had that corporate American Express card. It was a nice deal. I had my own little corner office. It was a good gig. But in the mid to late 90s, my children were born and I decided to stay home with them. I really was lucky to be able to stay home while they were little. And when I was going to go back into the workforce in the early 2000s, I knew that banking was not for me. You see, when I majored in college, I double majored, and I majored in business and English. So it was kind of a natural progression for me, because I really always wanted to be an English teacher, to go back to school, to earn my graduate degree, and get that teaching certificate. That's exactly what I did. So by 2002, 2003, I was subbing, and then eventually in 2004, I started at Plainfield Central High School, and I've never been happier. You see, here's the thing that you may not know. I didn't start teaching until I was 40 years old. And at the time, I remembered thinking to myself, oh my gosh, 40 years old? I'm not gonna even start this career until I'm 40. And very wise people said to me, you know what? You're gonna be 40 anyways. You might as well do what you really wanna do. Best advice I ever received. I've been happily teaching. I will finish my career here at Central. And for me, having a job where I can serve you, students, I can kind of see the spark, I can see the productivity, I can see what you're going to become. That's really kind of what fills my heart in a way that banking, while interesting and a lot of perks and a lot of benefits, never could. Because you see, I was never really about the corporate bottom line. I wanted to help people, and I thoroughly enjoy helping all of you, hopefully realizing your dreams. I want to just leave you with one thought. If you don't know what you want to do when you leave high school or even college, don't worry about it. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, and here I was 20 years after a full and filling career, completely changing my mind and doing something else for another 20 years. You see, you have a long life. Take advantage of what you love and find what you love and figure out a way to get paid doing it. Good luck, Wildcats, in your careers and in the rest of your life.